She was the smartest kid in class. Teachers called her gifted. A bright mind, always curious, always asking questions, always ahead. People expected greatness from her. And why wouldn't they? She was sharp, quick, and full of ideas. But there was something beneath the surface, something she couldn't explain, a kind of noise in her mind, constant, restless. She'd start one thing and immediately get pulled toward another. She forgot appointments, lost her belongings, missed deadlines. Her mind raced faster than her mouth could speak, but no one noticed, not at first. In elementary school, they called her creative. In middle school, they called her talkative. In high school, they called her unmotivated. And that's when the shame began. She couldn't finish her homework. She couldn't concentrate during lectures. She couldn't keep her room clean or her thoughts organized. And no matter how hard she tried, she felt like she was always failing. The world told her to try harder, but no one saw how hard she already was. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't careless. She was overwhelmed. Friends drifted away. Teachers gave up. Her self-worth plummeted. She began to believe she was broken. She dropped out of college, once, then twice. She started jobs and lost them. She had dreams and watched them fade. Each failure confirmed her fear that she was destined to disappoint everyone, including herself. She began to isolate, to fake smiles, to wear a mask of normalcy while drowning inside. She would lie awake at night, paralyzed by thoughts she couldn't quiet. Every day felt like a fight to stay on task, to stay positive, to stay alive. And then, one night, rock bottom. Alone in her apartment, surrounded by unopened mail and unpaid bills, she opened her laptop. Tears streamed down her face as she typed, "Why can't I focus? Why can't I do normal things? What's wrong with me?" And for the first time, the answer wasn't blame. It wasn't judgment. It was a word she had heard before but never truly understood. ADHD. Not the hyperactive stereotype, not just about bouncing off walls, but the real kind, the invisible kind. The kind that makes organizing your day feel like climbing a mountain. That makes you feel everything, all at once. That turns motivation into a mystery. That hides in plain sight. She read article after article, watched videos, joined forums, and suddenly, her whole life began to make sense. Every failure, every struggle, every tear. They weren't because she was broken. They were because her brain was wired differently. She wasn't alone. She never had been. There were millions of people out there just like her, smart, capable, loving, and misunderstood. For the first time, she cried not out of despair, but out of relief. And in that moment, she made a choice. If she had spent years feeling lost, she would spend the rest of her life helping others feel seen. She picked up her phone, turned on the camera, and spoke. It wasn't polished. It wasn't scripted. But it was real. She talked about time blindness, about rejection sensitivity, about impulsive spending, forgotten birthdays, emotional spirals, unfinished dreams. She spoke with honesty, with vulnerability, with courage, and people listened. They said, "That's me. I thought I was the only one. You just described my life." And from that point on, everything changed. She became a light in the darkness, a voice for those who had been silent for too long. She didn't offer magic cures. She didn't pretend to have all the answers. She simply said, "I understand you." And that was enough. Because in a world that often labels people by their productivity, she reminded them that their value was never tied to output, that their worth wasn't measured in grades or paychecks or perfectly organized planners. She taught them how to build structure with kindness, how to forgive themselves, how to celebrate small wins, how to ask for help without shame. Her videos spread across the world. Her voice became a lifeline. Her story became hope. And through it all, she continued to struggle. Because ADHD doesn't go away. But now, she knew how to manage it. And more importantly, she knew she wasn't alone. She wasn't that broken little girl anymore. She was a guide, a mentor, a warrior. And for every person watching her journey, she whispered the words she once needed to hear. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're learning. You're growing. You're healing. To anyone who's ever stared at a blank page and called themselves stupid, to anyone who's ever forgotten an appointment and felt useless, to anyone who's ever felt different and ashamed of it, this story is for you. You are not alone. You are not your past. You are not your diagnosis. You are strong. You are valuable. You are enough. And your story has only just begun